The ending of Poppy Playtime Chapter 3 definitely caught me off guard. I was not expecting the prototype to take Catnap, but I'm really glad that the developers did this because it made the game a lot less predictable. Considering this, I can't help but wonder what direction Chapter 4 will go in, because I feel like it could take the story in a bunch of different directions. So let's take a look at where Chapter 4 might go. In the past, the devs have talked about how the chapter is going to be a lot more darker, mentioning how they have some pretty dark ideas for the future and that Chapter 3 won't always be the scariest, which I love to hear because keep in mind, Poppy Playtime is a horror game and most horror stories do not have a happy ending. Therefore, I think we can expect Chapter 4 to be the darkest chapter yet. Everyone's general idea of Chapter 4 is that we are going to be taking down the prototype. I mean, that is literally what Poppy is telling us to do. Although I don't think that is the case here. At least it's not that simple. To question what will happen in the next chapter, we need to understand what the purpose of Chapter 3 was. Well, we met a bunch of new characters and learned all about the Playcare. The smiling critters, most importantly Catnap, played a huge role. However, he did not last long. This seems to be a recurring theme throughout the chapter. We meet a main antagonist and we end up defeating them. We ran into Huggy Wuggy, now he's gone. We met Mommy Longlegs, now she's gone. And the same happened to Catnap. So I think you get the idea. Keep this in mind because it's important. We also learn how the Hour of Joy began and who was directly behind it. Although one of the most interesting parts of the chapter was the location, specifically the gas production zone. Ollie tells us that this is the heart of the Playcare. This is where the gas was made that Catnap would use to put the orphans to sleep in order to be experimented on. Our main goal in Chapter 3 is to power the station on and transfer the gas from the right chamber to the left. Clearly, this is very important. Although I find this very odd, considering Ollie gave us no explanation as to why. He only tells us by doing this, that's how we can get to him being the prototype. He gave us no explanation as to what the gas does while it's on the right side. We can assume it's blocking us from going to a certain location, but where? We already explored through each area in the Playcare, so maybe somewhere we need to go in Chapter 4. Maybe the gas was in the labs. This would make the most sense. Now, once we complete this task, we receive a final call from Ollie. He tells us, with Catnap gone, we are one big step closer to the prototype, one step closer to winning. We've made our choice. We are staying to help Poppy. Finish the job, this win is ours. This call feels odd. He mentions winning twice, as if what we are doing is a game to him. This makes me think that Ollie might not actually be the prototype. I mean, think about it. Most kids don't understand how serious any given situation can be. So if Ollie thinks that all of this is just a fun game, this could suggest that he is in fact just another kid's soul trapped in a toy. To him, this could all just be a fun game. Or Ollie is the prototype and he's just manipulating us even more, trying to fool us with Ollie's innocence. This could very well be the case, as the prototype is extremely smart. As we know, he is able to mimic voices, therefore he could just be mimicking a child's voice. As I was saying, Ollie told us to finish the job. This could be the prototype egging us on. He wants us to find him. Although, why would the prototype want us to find him? I think it's safe to say that he has a master plan here. I don't think that the Hour of Joy was the final step. Keep in mind, the prototype is a prototype. He is not the finished product. This is why we only ever see his arm. The Hour of Joy was used to get revenge on the people involved with Playtime Co. and to let the toys free. Once all of the humans were gone, the prototype started using anything he could find to finish building himself. But he couldn't do this alone. He manipulated Catnap into doing his dirty work, making Catnap take out any of the still alive toys that opposed him. The prototype would then use those dead toys to help build himself, to finish what the scientists started. This is where we come in. We are part of the prototype's master plan without even realizing it. Remember the find the flower note we received? Well, that had to have been sent by someone. That someone being Poppy. At the surface level, this seems like an innocent cry for help, although it was all a part of the plan. Besides Catnap, the prototype had even more help, someone that had been secretly working with him this entire time. Now, why would Poppy be helping the prototype? Well, it's because the prototype is her father, Elliot Ludwig, the founder of Playtime Co. Elliot had a daughter that passed away. With this sudden passing, he quickly figured out a way to transfer her soul into a Poppy doll using a Poppy flower. Now, after Elliot turned into the prototype, he was locked away. away from his daughter. The prototype was a special breakthrough, something that needed to be studied. This is why he was secluded. Wanting revenge and freedom, the Hour of Joy took place. Although, like I previously mentioned, he was never finished. The prototype needed to be stronger. He needed more than just toys. He needed another human. But he couldn't do this on his own. With Poppy being too small, they devised a plan to lure us into the factory and take down the rest of the toys and use us as the final piece, so Elliot and his daughter could live together forever. This is why Poppy is helping the prototype, and this is why they needed us to return. Remember how I mentioned we keep taking out each antagonist? Well, it's all a part of their plan. Poppy writes us a letter asking us for help. Once we make our return, she watches us to see if we can defeat Huggy Wuggy. With Huggy gone, it's assumed that the prototype takes his body. We are then conveniently led to find Poppy as she pretends to be on our side, now needing us to take down Mommy Longlegs, another still alive toy lurking around the factory. Once we defeat her, we even watch as the prototype takes her body. Poppy and the prototype's plan is working. We passed her test. All that's left is Catnap, the strongest of them all. Now, you might be wondering why the prototype would want to get rid of Catnap. After all, he treated him like a god. Well, the prototype no longer needed him. The Hour of Joy was a success and all of the employees were gone. Catnap and the other toys that we are taking out were just loose ends. Once we defeat him, we watch as the prototype takes him as well. With the rest of the bigger bodies gone, even Miss Delight, the prototype has nothing to stop him. Now, why would Huggy Wuggy and Mommy Longlegs want to stop the prototype? Maybe because they saw just how dangerous he could become. Mommy Longlegs even screams in fear that she will become a part of him, meaning she might have been afraid of the prototype even after the Hour of Joy. She saw what he was becoming. Huggy and Mommy Longlegs could have been keeping the prototype locked inside. Either way, this whole time, Poppy was just pretending to be on our side, convincing us that taking down all of these toys would help us defeat the prototype, when in reality, it was actually helping and making him stronger, while leading us directly to him. This is why he wants us to find him, because he needs us, the final piece to his puzzle. Which leads us to chapter 4, where things are going to get much darker. Once we ascend back to the top of the elevator, Kissy Missy will be gone, another lost toy that falls victim to the prototype, ultimately becoming part of him. Although I don't think what attacked her was the actual prototype. It could have been a new character. The devs have talked about introducing new characters for the next chapter, so this very well could be one of them. Or, like I've theorized in the past, this could actually be Boxy Boo. When we were descending down the elevator, Poppy mentioned that there was something else down here before getting cut off by Kissy Missy's attack. Something other than the prototype. She could have been talking about Boxy Boo lurking underneath the facility, patiently waiting for his time to strike. The prototype has let him free. Now, with Kissy gone, there are not many toys left. We will again head down the elevator. This will take us not to the prison location, but the laboratory, the place where the children were experimented on. This is where we will learn the truth behind what's really going on, the truth behind the experiments. Here we will finally see the prototype. We know that this is where he is most likely hiding out from one of Catnap's VHS tapes. The scientists mentioned how the labs is his home, so I think this is where he keeps the dead toys. It's where he has been staying this whole time. While we are down here, we will end up fighting him, considering his goal is to use us as his final part. Although we will likely defeat him, which won't go according to their plan. This will lead Poppy to reveal that the prototype was her father, and we just took him out. With Poppy upset, she will try to stop us as she becomes the true villain. After all, the game is called Poppy Playtime. What do you guys think will happen in chapter 4? Will we end up taking down the prototype? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like horror game content like this, please consider subscribing. If you want to support the channel more, you can become a member. Don't forget to follow my Twitter at TerrifyT. Thanks for watching.